Someone who I'd been incarcerated with had been manipulated into changing his sexual orientation, and it happened in the way you would least expect it. I was out in the dorm playing poker, and boom, the doors pop, and a new guy walks in. Now in this particular dorm, there was a ritual. Some guy, when a new guy walked in, would scream out, "Hey, that's the guy who stole my lawnmower." This guy had already had the deer in the headlights, "I can't believe I'm in here" type look on him, but as soon as he heard that, all bravado went out the window. 20 seconds after coming in the dorm, the sharks are already on him, and what they're doing to him now is what I like to call soft extortion. Soft extortion is where you befriend them, try to rizz them up, and then see what you can get them to do for you. For instance, "Hey man, will you spray this while we smoke? Hey man, can I borrow a soup?" etc, etc. And when I say this poor guy didn't stand a chance, I mean, man, he was cooked. Now before I get a comment like, "Drake, why didn't you help him?" You can't help these guys. Your life depends on it. Now with that being said, if I'd known this guy from a previous encounter or maybe out in the world, I'd have put him up on game, but I didn't. So as the days and weeks progressed, this guy evolved from do boy to sex boy. Now I'm not going to say he deserved it, but I'm not going to lie and say he didn't, because what he did to accelerate this progression was completely on him. So one day this man sits down at the poker table and they're like, "You know how to play?" He's like, "Yeah, I need credit." You see, when you're incarcerated, you're bored to death. There's not much to do. You can either gamble, join a gang, or engage in homosexual activity. I chose to gamble. I'm at the poker table, I'm gambling, and I remember it like yesterday. I mean, I was getting popped that day. I mean, my skull was getting pushed back to the white meat. So this man sits down and he gets like 20 bucks in credit, and they're like, "Yeah, when are you gonna hit?" He's like, "Oh man, my money coming Friday, my girlfriend will shoot it to me." It wasn't an entire hour later that this man is completely out of money. They ate him up out there. I mean, he didn't know how to play at all. He goes, "That's fine, give me another 20. Like, okay, so now this dude's at 40. This dude's up playing all day and gets down 200. Now, 9 out of 10 times when this happens, the guy will usually check out of the dorm, but I don't think this guy was seasoned enough to even know that was a thing. I mean, he was green. Now, the store day where he promised to pay the money had done came and went like twice. And the particular affiliation that was running the poker table pushes up on him in his cell. They push up on him, they're like, "Hey, my boy, da-da-da, like, you're gonna pay us." And he's like, "Oh, man, my girl broke bad on me, whoop-de-woo." And they're like, "What's that got to do with us?" Before they beat him up pretty good, they tried to see exactly how far he would go. So they had this man washing their underwear, cooking food for him, shaving off his eyebrows. I mean, they had him doing everything. Now this is the part of the story where the sexual immorality begins to start. This man got broomsticked pretty good. And if you don't know what broomsticked is, use your imagination. You're putting a broom where it's not supposed to go. They were really being gentle with him because they didn't break it off inside of him, but that's where the door starts to open for the other activities. So within a month and a half, this guy goes from a normal guy to using the coloring off M&Ms for eyeshadow, tying up his shirt to appear that he had breasts. So there's about a million things he could have done differently to prevent this from happening, but I guess the top few is don't gamble and say no.